Women's Health Matters, Prioritizing Your Overall Wellness session. Today, our guests are going to be Miss Sophia Campbell Burrell and Miss Chef Monique Burns. When they get in, I will definitely let them introduce themselves. So please bring our guests in and we will get our show started. Hello, ladies. Welcome.
Hi.
Wrap it up. Let's get ready for a great show. As I mentioned earlier, I am Rhonda Curry Coffee. I will be the moderator of today's introduction of our panel of guests, Miss Sophia. Can you please allow yourself to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yes, so my name is Sophia Campbell Burrell, and I am a therapist by day, and I'm also a figure competitor on the amateur level, working to get my pro card. I'm manifesting that. That's going to be soon in November. And I own a supplement line company as well. And I also do personal training on the side too. So I do a little bit of everything, mind, body, soul connection. So that's me pretty much
Hey,
in a
you right
nutshell.
person for the right job. Welcome. And Chef Burns.
Hi, yes, my name is Chef Monique Burns. I'm here in the beautiful Phoenix, Arizona, and my company is a private chef catering company. And basically, what we do is we provide services to clients that just need someone to help them take the stress off their plate, whether it be with private dining or it's just someone that's trying to get back on track with like meal planning or just someone to come in and help them, get everything organized while they just wrangle everything that comes with life. We have been having our business for about a couple years now. I started my culinary journey at a very young age, at 5, cooking with my grandparents, and it has just blossomed into something that is now a part of my DNA. We have cooked for a number of clients from small entrepreneurs all the way up to Fortune 500 companies. And we're just here to provide a service to the community and really to be uplifting to the community and just feed the family and friends that are in our community.
You're going to feed us, like So said, mind, body, and soul this
Mind,
year.
body, and soul. Everything has to be fed.
I
Yes.
love it. Well, like I said, I'm happy to be here to moderate today's panel of guests on our topic. Today, what we're going to be doing is delving into the topic of women's health matters a little bit further so that we can have a better connection as to us and understanding of how we as an individual prioritize our overall wellness. So, in delving into this specific topic and trying to get down to the nitty gritty, we got a few questions that we're going to be shooting out at y'all, just so we can have a good understanding of who you are as an individual and how you prepare yourself for life on a day-to-day basis. So let's jump right into the questions, lady. The first things that I think about is when beginning your day. What is the first thought? I mean, when you wake up and open your eyes, what's the first thought or the first ritual that you all do in the morning that gets you ready to start off your day? What gives you that mental set capacity to tackle your day? Let's go with So.
Okay. So I first start off, I wake up and I drink like at least 20 ounces of water just to get my digestion and everything kind of going. And honestly, it helps it flow. I'm going to be honest with you. And from there, I kind of say some affirmations such as like today's going to be a good day filled with many blessings. So I just kind of set the tone, like today's going to be a good day. And I consistently say it more than at least at the minimum 3 times, you know. And then from there, honestly, I don't ever pick out what I'm aware probably should, but I kind of go off how I feel what I wear, honestly. So, I mean, if I feel, I'm not a planner, but I go off on how I feel. And then from there, I already have like my vitamins already separated for myself, so I'm not scrambling in the morning trying to get these pills and that pills and stuff. I kind of do that all on Sunday, where I organize all my vitamins so I can just take that and go. And then I go to the gym as early as possible. I kind of start my day. Honestly, I set like doggone it 5 alarms to get out or whatever. But you gotta do what you gotta do.
You
My husband can
do.
just pop up and go. Not me. I'm like snooze. And sometimes I think it sounds like a song. Sometimes I just be grooving to it. He like, can you turn it off?
And sleep right through it. I understand that part right there.
And then I kind of go to the gym. So I feel like, granted, I'm not a morning person, but I make myself a morning person just to get things done. So, I get up, I go to the gym, I get my cardio protocol done, I get my lifting done. For most part, I try to put my cardio first. And if I have to lift in the evenings, I'll do that as well. At least that's done all before work. At least if I'm getting all these things done in the morning time, after work, I can, because sometimes we're so mentally exhausted dealing with people, whatever our jobs, we can't even do for ourselves afterwards. So I really try to make it a priority to get all the important things done before I start work. So that's kind of how I start off my days, with my affirmation, my water, my vitamins, and a good exercise just to get myself going. If I don't exercise or have my water, all these things, my day is kind of thrown off, honestly, but doesn't mean it's a bad thing. Sometimes change is good.
That you've given me 4 key components of how you start your day, and I realized the issue in my day. I don't have 3 of them.
got a plan. And
I don't do 3 of them.
The water one was the
affirmations, and I stopped.
Well, the water thing, it gets the number 2 going. So
yeah,
I'm just saying, I'd be like, guzzle, gotta go.
Look, I'm gonna have to work on me. Let's see what Chef got over here. Chef, the question again was, when you begin your day, what's the first thought or ritual that you have to do to get your morning started?
So what I have to do to get my morning start is that I'm very passionate about not starting my day with artificial light. I like to wake up with the sunshine. So my husband know that when it's time for us to wake up, whether it's 6 a.m. or 7 a.m., don't turn on that light. Just open the blinds. Don't turn on any kind of fluorescent light. I just need natural lighting. And we always open up all the windows up, and we open up, like right now we're in Arizona. Thank God it's starting to cool off a little bit. But I open up the windows, I get that fresh air in, and also I just start my day with no technology. Like I go in for a good, like I probably would say like maybe an hour, an hour and a half with no technology, like no looking at emails, no looking at computers or anything. I try to go into the kitchen, either make lemon water, or I try to make a big mug of tea, and I go somewhere where there's sunlight and I sit there. So it's kind of like me, my body like slowly waking up and like getting used to the day. And, my day will either be a slow day or it'll be a crazy hectic day. And it's like that's my time for me to hang out on the couch, my puppy to come in and she can chill with me. My husband, he's getting ready for work. And I'm just checking in with myself. I'm like, all right, Monique, you're not a superwoman. You cannot save everybody today. Maybe tomorrow, but girl, not today. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna do your best. If you fall short, that's okay. But we're gonna go in, we're gonna do our best, and we're gonna have a good day. And then there, I try to eat something. Sometimes I don't, which I'm really horrible at because I'm always thinking that my body can run on fumes. The older I get, the more I'm like, it's just not working. My 20-year-old body ain't working in my 30-year-old body. So I have to get myself fueled. And I constantly talk to myself throughout the day. People think that, or when they see me, like, Mo, are you talking to me? I'm like, no, I'm talking to myself. I'm just always telling myself, like, all right, Mo, like we're doing good. We're doing okay. You know what? It didn't happen the way you wanted it to happen, but it happened. So constantly having those little conversations with myself, and I have to be around sunshine. If I'm not around sunshine, I'm like a plant. You put a plant like in a dark area, it will wither away, and that's me. But that's how I start my day. And if I don't have any of those components, I feel like it's going to be a bumpy ride. But I got to get Sophia with the 2 ounces of water. I'm over here just drinking like 10 ounces of hot tea.
I think you're doing good.
That's me getting up.
20 ounces in the morning.
Well, that's just me getting up, because before I get to the gym, I drink 60. Like that's a priority, like for me, because I have to get through a gallon or a gallon and a half, so I have to start strong. You know what I mean? Or you're gonna
Yeah,
be
yeah,
slow
you
cooking.
know
So it's
what your
like,
capacity is and how you have
mm-hmm,
to intake it. I get that totally. As I take notes, drink a
Yeah, I'm
lot more
taking that
water
note too.
before 9 a.m. Yeah,
Drink
definitely got me
water.
beat by 9 or whatever time it is. But yeah, you ladies, you guys have a lot of good rituals that it sounds like it just gets you started. The one thing I heard from Chef is that if you don't have sunlight, just count me out. I'm done because that sunlight is what invigorates you and gets you geared ready for whatever the day has to bring from you. So I heard that basically you got that regiment of if you don't get those affirmations going
yep,
and you get your water and do what you got to do after that water, it's
yep.
a wrap. You got
Listen,
to
if I
get
don't go
yourself
number two, it ain't right.
do what you got to do.
Mm-hmm.
For me, my it's weird that you guys bring in all of those things. My mental has to get set. Once I wake up, the first thing out of my mouth before I open my eyes is I thank the Lord for another day. If I don't go through my morning prayer, the next steps of the things that I'm about to do is going to all be off. So I thank the Lord for another day. Then I wake up and I get my mind right. And then when I get out of the bed, first thing I have to do is make up my bed.
Mm.
It's something in me that says if my bed isn't made up, my day isn't started, and I can get back in it. So soon as I get up, even if my husband's still in the bed, I make up my side. Now, it's weird, but I can't get back into an unmade bed, and I can't get out of the bed without making it up for me to feel like I'm ready to get started. So those are my sort of things, and like Chef, throughout the day, it's a 24/7 affirmation, confirmation that whatever you're doing is the right thing to do. Keep doing it. Oh, darn, you didn't do that. Get to it. You know what? Put it on tomorrow's to do list, but still continue to push yourself towards whatever your goals are for the day. So when I get through that part, I think I'm ready to tackle the day. Now, nothing ever gets done the way I had it laid out, but some things get done because I think the way I start my day allowed me to mentally prepare myself for work.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for that question. It's a continuous build upon that question for the next set of things that we're going to be are asking. So let's just go right into the next one as to what's your spiritual practice. No matter what your spiritual connotation is, no matter what your thought process is on it, what's your spiritual practice? And do you prefer having a personal or individual connection? Or do you want to share it with others in a physical structure? Like to be fulfilled, you have to be around people. Like for me, I'm a bedside Baptist type of chick. I'm just gonna put it out there. I wake up and if whoever specific is on that Sunday morning, I'm going to turn it on. And it's been more so that way since COVID, of course. But, I've gravitated to understanding that I get fulfilled that way when I can praise on my own, but with people through, technology, but on my own, I feel a little bit better. And it could be the mental telling me that I know I'm not going to catch COVID today, but because I'm not around people. But that's just me. So tell me a bit about you guys. Let's start with Chef. What's your spiritual practice?
So my spiritual practice is that so I can dwell with God alone, and I can also dwell with Him um, in church, and also just being around other people. But I feel that now, especially since we got out of COVID and how things have just changed in the last couple of years, that I find myself having a stronger connection, spiritual connection with God, just with me being by myself. And I
Mm-hmm.
think it's just because I'm always in my head when it comes down to like my business or with friends. Like I always struggle with anxiety, so I'm always in my head. So I'm always trying to find that moment of silence or me to just like vent to God, and we can just have our conversations um, privately. But I also love being around a congregation. I love like being in the in a holy place and just having that energy around me. But I, it all depends on like the season I'm in.
Mhm.
It all
Yeah.
depends. Some seasons I want to be by myself. Some seasons I want to be around everybody, and then some seasons are just it's. I might have to just call on somebody to get me out of that dark season. But I I don't know. I guess you could say my spiritual practice is wherever I am and wherever God is. That's where I'm at
Hmm.
I like it. I
because
like
like I just have like a very different connection with Him. Like we have, I have learned the difference between the relationship and then also just being physically there.
it.
You
Right.
know, people just physically there. So
Right.
with me, I can go and talk to God in a park. I can talk to God in the grocery store. I can talk, have practice my spiritual um, practice pretty much anywhere.
I
But
like it.
it all depends on my seasons. But lately, my season has just been in nature.
Yep.
It's just like looking up at the sky and be like, wow,
Yep.
Okay.
it's like, look at the beautiful day we have, or look at the tree. Like, who would have thought to make a tree and make it grow up and then shed, and it's still full of life. So
Hmm.
that's where I have my practice. It's all about whatever season I am. That's where I'm going to be.
I like it. I like
Yeah.
it. What say you, so?
I'm gonna piggyback a little bit too as well. I feel like with me, I feel like I have a connection better with God alone. Um, I've talked to God like God is my homie. Like, God, this person get on my nerves. You need to remove them from my life, save them from me, because I'm okay. So I feel like honestly, I've gotten more results with talking to God have like a friend in the sense of like, being myself instead of like, dear Lord, oh, please help me here. Like, I just don't get that connection, when I'm just really talking to God as myself and coming as myself. I also myself enjoy being in nature. The way my backyard looks, I like to plant herbs that I can use and everything. I like to go in my backyard when I'm feeling like really anxious and like agitated and touching the tree and asking the tree, please take this from me. So I feel like that I also connect with God too, with just being in nature and just also creating that space in my home of making it like I can just meditate and just
Thin
pull
it
from
out.
the earth and everything. So I feel like I'm doing my due diligence in Arizona. It's kind of hard to have like a green backyard in Arizona, but I am doing my damn best and I'm doing a damn good job at that. And every year I'm putting new herbs and things that I can take from the earth and just being one with the earth. So I also, with my spiritual practice, I like to meditate. I feel like if I
Yeah.
don't take time to meditate and just sit still so God can give me answers, my day start going to crap.
Yeah.
And I'll give you an example. I kept getting all these messages like through like my let's say from like my clients and stuff talking about, oh, I didn't meditate, blah blah blah. I'm like, it keeps coming up because I'm like, God, you want me to meditate? Well, I was making this delicious salad in between like my sessions, and I do this all the time ritually, and I just bumped my arm and the salad fell, and I watched it slowly fall, and it just spread on the floor, and I'm like, God, this is in between a session. Hurry up and clean it up. Then I went to try to clean it up, and then the bucket of water fell. And I'm like, you are really trying to get my attention. But instead of me getting upset about it, I'm like, no, you want me to get grounded and meditate. I could have got upset about it and saying, wow, my day went to shits, but it really
Yeah.
didn't. Like, God was just trying to get my attention. And sometimes I feel like we miss that message that God tried to give us. Like,
Yes.
it's just a
It's
matter of
that
just,
simple focus that you had to understand that it was a message and not
yep,
just a moment.
yep,
That you took care and said, "Let me stop." Let me
mhm,
stop and pay attention to what's going on around me
yep,
because right now I'm tripping, I'm
yep,
dropping, I'm slipping.
yep,
God just wants you to wake it up. Look, pay
yep.
attention. You didn't do
Yep.
something. You didn't
God got
talk
my
to me
attention,
today.
girl.
God's your homie. He was expecting that call. You tripping. You
Hmm. So
tripping.
I'm like, once I meditated and got grounded again, things start going in place and in order all
Yeah.
over again.
Yeah,
So I just feel
yeah.
like this I feel like the pandemic got me a chance to sit still and just kind of like learn myself and just build this relationship with God. Like, you don't need like and I'm saying for me, I don't need like a church and things to have this connection. I feel like you got to build that personal relationship with your God, with yourself,
Right.
and then to listen and catch the signs that he's trying to give you. Because sometimes we ask for signs and we ignore them. God, give me a sign, and all these signs come. God, but I need a sign. We just keep
Yeah.
ignoring it. So
Yeah,
just
it has to be the flashing lights for us to see it. When
mhm.
sometimes it's just the subtle signs that you missed that could have been your lifesaver.
I was
Um,
Well, I would say
But I'm glad. Go
one more
ahead.
thing I do with my spiritual practice, I also do like a mantra book.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
So, I feel like when we're struggling mentally and things and spiritually, it's just sometimes we just need that little bit of extra help just to like, I can't think clearly. Let me just go to this book and just pull this out, and feel so much better. So sometimes less is more, you ain't,
Mhm.
it ain't got to be perfect. So I just, such a simple book and mantra, and I'm like, okay, I feel better. Like, all right, now I got my head on straight.
Yeah, it seems like such a simple book, but it's a lifesaver to you.
It
Sounds
is.
like, so,
Mm.
don't trivialize your life-saving
Mm-hmm.
system that you have. It's very good. I'm glad you brought up COVID. It segues into the next question as to when COVID hit or entered the room, as we like to say now, because we don't want to say hit anymore. Um, in respect to the occupations that you guys both hold, both of you have occupations that deal with people. You cook, chef, you have to have, you have to touch people's items. You have to go out. You have to gather your sustenance. You have to get everything and then go give it to people in a group and sometimes privately. For you, so you are, you're a therapist, a life coach. You go out and you have to do and be around people. And putting those in perspective, when COVID came into the room, what were your biggest challenges that you encountered to continue post COVID? And how did you, or how are you currently pivoting to regain some semblance of normal? How are we moving forward? Let's go back to Chef on this one.
Okay. Well, I have to say, definitely during the pandemic or during COVID, it was really hard for me to connect with my clients because I'm pretty much I'm a people's person. I love to be around people. I like to touch things, and I just like to be in the presence of, that people energy.
Mhm.
So when it came, it really made me shift, and also it kind of like took a damper on my mental well being because I had to pretty much change how I did my business. Like I've always meet my clients in person,
Mhm.
and talk to them and go with them, and show them how to shop and look for certain produce and whatnot. And when that happened, I had to go more online. I had to rely on, maybe the Instacart, carriers and whatnot. And as we have, like, we're still having some cases, not as like it was before, but I feel like for me, it just taught me that there's more opportunities. Like instead of me going into my little bubble and saying like, "Oh my goodness, I can't do this and can't do that," it kind of like opened that extra like room in my brain for like, okay, well we can do online. Well, okay, we have everything at our fingertips. I can
Mhm.
FaceTime clients. I can, we can just do email, or you know what, we can also just do a side by side, and I
Right.
can show you how to do things. So that's one thing that I've done with my business and my occupation, but it really did help, did a damper on my mental well being, um, just because. And I love the fact that we have so many resources how we can get groceries. But I'm gonna let y'all know real quick. I am a person that like to pick my own vegetables. I I understand that people say, "Oh, I got this." I like, no, I want to. What kind of bell pepper? Look at the bottom. What is it? 3 or 4 on there? No, I don't want that. Look at the kale. Is the kale right? I have to see it. So for me, it also made me lose control and understand that I can
Mhm.
control everything,
That's right. Mhm.
and also to rely that others can help. So in a way, it has helped me a bit, but that was a hard thing. My husband thought that I was gonna I was gonna go off on the person.
That's because he living with you. He sees. He knew someone, right? Some got to give. Something has to.
He was like, baby, I think they are like, no, I said limes. They got me key limes. This is not what I needed. But
But you're a chef. You can make it work.
exactly. I was like, but you know what? I'm thankful for the person. I'm
Mm-hmm.
thankful that they was here. This is an opportunity. Maybe God was telling me, you don't need no lime. I need you to use
Mhm.
key limes.
And
So
isn't that how some recipes come about, by using what you have instead of what you used to? So
Yeah,
you might have just invented you a whole new recipe and what you call it, a book. Go ahead, chef. You got to
yeah.
go through the motions to get to where you need to be.
It was, and I tell you right now, and at this time, I love Instacart. I'll be like, I'll be sending them everything. They be calling me. I was like, oh yeah, send me a picture. I'm like, all right, Monique. So maybe you don't need to be everywhere all at once.
Yeah, but I guarantee you they got somebody be like, look, it's that chef again. Go get Jackie again because Jackie is the one who helps her because nobody else can go through this headache. So I can guarantee you they
I,
got you probably get the same person all the time.
I'll tell you this: the butcher at the Whole Foods, when he see me coming, he's like, "Oh, she's here." I'm like, "That tag? Where that tag at? Let me see. What are
They
you
know.
doing there?"
They know they see you coming. But that's good, the way that you pivoted with an understanding of it. So, that's exactly how I think a lot of businesses, individuals had to, sit back and just reevaluate their current situation. What about you? So let's get, your understanding of where or what were your biggest challenges after COVID came through and you had to continue to figure out where you go with your business.
So I'm going to say a part of my business, me also kind of, staying in shape. So I actually, it's going to make sense when I tell you the story. So I got into bodybuilding. I decided at the end of 2019 that I was going to go into, bodybuilding 2020. Well, who knew we was going to go into a pandemic? So it was like me, you know, picking up a new hobby and habits that I had to create during this time where the world shut down, the gym shut down. There was nowhere to find chicken and things like that, going to hunt for things and toilet paper. So here I am picking up this, new hobby that I got to, work out, eat right, and everything, had this regimen. And a lot of these things are not available. So it was just a matter of honestly just having faith and going with the flow. And a lot of us don't know how to go with the flow of life and just accept things. So it just taught me just to be patient with the process, and everything will work out. Even with I have gone through 3 coaches or whatever with bodybuilding. And when I came back, when the gyms did open, and for him to say, "Oh, I was expecting you to get fat," I'm like, "Oh, you don't know me, sir," because I was definitely sneaking in the gyms with my husband, having bare minimal equipment and working out in the house doing these dips on these steps. So you must not know me and my discipline. So while everyone was baking cookies and cakes and stuff, I was honestly just I'm just saying, like, oh, but I was really trying to find ways to get ready for my show at the end of the year, and taking on this new habit. And it's taught me that I can do anything with the bare minimal, because then once the gyms open and stuff, I'm like, oh, this is luxury. You know what I mean? Like I did it with the
That was
bare
the
minimum.
easy part.
Mhm. And so it's like I really learned to be fearless. Even with me, before I became a therapist, I was a medical social worker going into these homes, and that's when I started the medical social work career, only for 3 years, and I got really tired of the medical system.
Yeah,
And
I can
but
see it.
me, honestly, I feel like going into people homes and them being sick, and basically with social work, people are sick.
Mhm.
People got nasty habits and things like that. You don't know what people do in their
Right,
houses, but I feel like
right.
what saved me from getting sick was me having a really good balanced diet. I had
Mhm.
like a grapefruit every morning. That was a part of like my routine, like me just staying clean, washing my hands for like 20 seconds. And I realized too, once I'm very observant. Once they opened the gyms, and I noticed when people started getting like the vaccine and everything, people were washing their hands, because I do be counting when people come out the toilet, and I'm like, and I be counting for them. I'm like, you so nasty. And people were washing their hands and being a lot cleaner and wiping down the equipment. But once the vaccine became available, people became lazy all over again. And I'm like, damn, if y'all would have just kept up just those good habits, like we all can kind of live a better life. But y'all chose to cop out
Go
and
back
kind
and revert. Yeah.
of. So it's just taught me a thing about society. Like, sometimes when things become convenient, people become lazy all over again. So it just makes me I need to stay up on what I need to do just to protect myself. And I'm doing my part. You can't control what other people are doing, but you control what you can do. So
Yeah.
that's what kind of
Hey,
me.
it's the mindset. It's literally the mindset of the individual who was affected, or
Mhm.
how you took the pandemic. For me, I took the pandemic as, oh Lord, thank goodness I don't have to go in work. I don't have to be around people. I'm sort of a introvert, extrovert. I know it's weird, but I like to be by myself. But if I'm around people, I make that situation work for me as well. For both of you, what I heard is that you had to do what you got to do.
Mm-hmm.
It's your business. You have to make sure that to maintain your business, how do you conform to the hand that has been dealt? And for Chef, you couldn't pick your own veggies. And trust and believe, if you didn't see the comment section, everybody was on point with you with. They gotta put their hands on their own thing. Everybody who's watching is like, I totally feel you on that. I get that. And with you, so if you didn't, have in your heart the conviction that you're making this life change for you, it
Mhm.
would have knocked you down. It just would have just stopped your goals of becoming the bodybuilder that you obviously are right now, because you got your guns out. I see what you're doing with that. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I see you doing it. It looks good on
You see
you.
my
Looks
guns?
good. Hey. So it's good that you all didn't let the pandemic stop you. It actually sounds like it fueled you, and you're moving on to be more successful because you pivoted to the aspect of understanding how else can I make what I do more successful for me. So that's very good in that way. So let's go right jump into the next one. It's about occupation. So professionally, how does your occupation heal or hurt your mindset? Um, y'all choose. No. Who's, who feels like they're ready?
I'll
Go
go.
ahead.
So with my occupation, the main thing, okay, so it can hurt, it can heal or it can hurt, but it also, for me, I know that I have to have strong boundaries. One of my things is that I try my best to do a lot for my clients or just to be there for my community. And for me, um, I know for a fact, like when it hurts me, when I say it hurts me, it's me taking on too much. It's me saying yes when I need to say no.
Mhm.
But it's also me thinking I'm superwoman that, oh yeah, I can wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and make it to this practice, see my friend, do a dinner, and then wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning and do another breakfast. That is hurting. I can't do that. But when I realized that I had to sit back and take a breath and understand that I need to have boundaries, then I can allow myself to be healed with my occupation. Like me, I love cooking. All my friends know that I love cooking. I love the joy of it. I love the smell of it. I love the seasons of it. I love to show people the love of like the essence of like, finding a great peach and like, you don't have to complicate everything for you to taste something so beautiful. Like Sophia said that she, eats grapefruits. Like I eat grapefruit like there are apples. I think they're so good.
Me too.
And sometimes you don't need sugar on them. Like you don't need to have
Definitely.
like all that. It's beautiful in its own self. And this is also something that goes with like my spiritual practice. It's just I'm just like, look at this. God created this beautiful grapefruit. Have this color on here, have this zest. How can we preserve and use everything in this? And to me, that's healing for me because I'm doing something I love. I'm excited about it. I can smell it. I'm already thinking about ideas on how I can utilize everything. And that's what's really healed me. Now, the hurt is where it's hard. And that's where it comes in with me having like burnout because I want to be there for everyone. I want to be there for my community. I end up like, putting myself on the back burner with that. And then I have moments of like, why am I doing this? Oh my goodness. Like, this is just too much for me. Like, what's going on? And I have to take a step back and really look at it like, all right, Monique, were you hydrated? Did you drink your 20 ounces of water like Sophia be doing in the morning? Did you maybe your schedule is overwhelmed right now? Maybe you should say no to a couple of appearances that you want to do. That's how it hurts my mindset. And I really think that I can just take over. I really think that my body, if I get real busy, I just think my body would just split into two people. And I'm like, you go that way and you go that way.
And
But
we'll meet up in the middle. I see.
it just doesn't work that way. So with me, it does. Those are like the negative, like when it does really hurt my mindset. But then I also have that healing. And me, it's all about boundaries. Like I
Mhm.
have my therapist that I talk to constantly, and also anyone that's in the profession, like dealing with like having your own business, or if you're dealing with like working with the community. I
Right.
feel like it's important for, well, everybody should have a therapist. I think it's very important for you to have a therapist, just so you can talk to them and unravel your reality, so they can help you iron out what is actual reality.
Mm-hmm. That's
So,
good. That's good.
but yeah,
I get it.
constantly doing that. But half the time I be dehydrated. Half the time I be running on a red.
Sophia getting you started. She telling you how to get started.
I know. I wrote. That's the first thing I wrote down in my notes. I was like, Monique, you need to drink 20 ounces of water when you
When
wake
you hit the floor. That's
up.
right.
Hit the flow.
It
It
might
should
seem
all.
like a lot, but it becomes a habit once you keep doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was doing it for a while, and I realized that I felt better. My skin was glowing.
Mhm.
I didn't have like my knees. That's how I know if my knees are aching. I'm like, Monique, are you lubricating these knees? Because you need to drink water.
Mhm.
Red Bull doesn't count. Actually, it makes you more dehydrated. But
That's good.
those are the things that it does for me. So it's like the teeter tot. It's like you
Yes.
got to find that
I
balance.
liken it as the angel and the devil.
Yeah,
You got your healing and your hurt. You got to which one's gonna win today. That type
Mhm.
of dilemma that you have. But hopefully every day you got your angel on your side. They got your
oh,
back.
my angel be fighting. I know my angel be sitting up there duking out, ready to box.
Uppercut.
Uh,
All right. So Sophia, tell us about what's your healing and hurt mindset.
Okay, so I got a backstory on how I became a therapist. So I've always been a social worker as far as like I'm a licensed social worker. I'm working on getting my clinical license with currently, but I did child welfare for 10 years. I gave, my all to that. And then I transitioned. I was thinking, oh, if I become a medical social worker, like it's going to be like my dream job. Did it for 3 years and I hated it. But I always felt like within all those two roles of like with being on the suicide hotline, being like working at part time and stuff, I've always felt like I've given therapeutic advice, within all those roles. And just being in the medical social work field, they liked what I did. They didn't like me because I always stood up for, if things didn't sit right with my soul, I spoke up about it. Um, got into a car accident last year. It was a minor fender bender, but it took me out of work, But when I got into the accident, um, I wasn't shooken up or anything. I knew that I was supposed to be in that accident, if that makes sense. From there, I was just like, there's a bigger picture to all this, that the reason why this person hit me. I got a chance to sit with myself because I was really done with social work because of those people. And sometimes people can drive us away from our passion and love and make things that we love. You can end up hating it because of an individual or a group of people. And I told God, I'm done with social work. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of not being appreciated for what I give out. And God was like, you're not done. No. Like, so when I got a chance to sit and then kind of unwind and get rid of all the anxiety and everything, because even the thought of going back to that position, I was so setting up my own business with being like with the supplement company, because like I said, with being in the pandemic, it's taught me like, damn, like you can use like natural things to stay healthy, to maintain your health and stuff. This is something I believe in.
Mhm.
So with doing that and then kind of getting that together, I end up getting this email saying like, you want to do this interview with this therapist company. And I'm like, I've always wanted to be a therapist, but like, what are the odds? And I got 2 interviews with 2 companies, but I wrote to myself, to God. That's another spiritual practice I do too. I also write in my journal to God a lot of like, this is what I want. I write things out how I want it to be. And everything I went through, like during that dark time, last year that brought me to who I am today, who I'm confident. This is when I'm sharing my story with people while I'm in therapy, when people are feeling down about their jobs and they're going crazy and not realizing like the jobs are causing them anxiety and depression and all these other things. And when you remove yourself from that toxic environment, whatever it is, then you realize, damn, it was that the relationship making me feel this way. Damn, it was the job making me feel this way. It's like once you remove yourself from that, all that stuff goes away that was causing
Right.
you all these illnesses. So I feel like I had to go through like that storm last year, sit still, rely on my husband because I'm all like, I can do it all, like, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, all right, we got to figure this out because I'm only getting 60% of my pay and things. And it made me go with the flow of life. And when I realized, damn, if you just go with the flow sometimes, stop fighting it, like things just like kind of fall through with you. Like we be
Mhm.
fighting things that, ain't meant for us.
Right.
But when it's meant for us, it just falls into place. And
Right.
you ain't supposed to fight for what's meant for you. Remember that.
Mm.
And
It
don't ever
sounds,
question it. If it's
it
easy.
sounds like your earlier comment where you were saying you just gotta listen for your help to come through.
Yep.
Like you weren't listening, and they put you in a situation where you had to stop
Yep.
and pay attention.
Yep.
So
Me being a therapist now is I already know how to set boundaries, and I'm now teaching people. So honestly, I feel like because I feel like had to sit alone and heal myself, now I can teach people how to heal themselves and be comfortable with themselves and love themselves. And even though they think they're loving themselves, and I'm like, well, are you really? Because you're not putting yourself first. So if you're not putting yourself, you really don't love yourself.
that's right. That's
It's like you got to come first, and if you don't come first, then everything else going to fall, around you. So it's just, I feel like it reminds me too, like when I'm telling them I better be doing the same damn thing. So I feel
right.
like we're both benefiting from like, this therapeutic relationship. It reminds
Yeah.
me too sometimes like, damn, my life ain't too bad. Listen to this person, but keep going. I'm like, this is
I
good.
know. It's like on the surface, a lot of people look like they got it going
Yep.
on. They got everything in control.
Yep.
Everything in their life is just seem as if it's falling in place. But we see that surface, and behind
Hmm.
closed doors, they're the next person that you see
Yep.
possibly harming themselves because they really can't handle that facade.
Hmm.
So that it's a balance. Again, it's the balance that we were talking about. Your profession, original profession, where you were working as the child welfare social worker and a medical social worker, sound like even though you enjoyed the job itself, the people around you that you had to help sort of hurt your mental on how to get through that job that you enjoyed. So you just was like, I'm done. I'm
Yeah.
over it.
I feel like it's
Where do
never
I
the
go?
clients. It's always
Yeah,
the system that destroys things. It's never the
it
clients.
is.
People
It
are
is.
going to be people, but man,
Yeah, it's the what they call it, the red tape that you have to get through that doesn't allow you to do what's right there in front of you. You know what can help, but you
mm-hmm,
gotta go through all of the rigmarole to try and figure out how you can best help the individuals that you're trying to help, even
mm-hmm,
though it, it just doesn't make sense because government said that we don't have funds for that.
mm-hmm,
So you gotta pick and choose your battles, and that
yep,
healing and the hurting of how do you help someone that you know can be helped without hurting you and your mental understanding of I got to go to this person and tell them that I can't help them because
mm-hmm,
of the process or whatever the issue is that's causing the problem. So you just got out of it. You was like, I can't be that person. If I can't help you 100%, I'm out 100%.
mm-hmm,
So I get it. I totally get that. Let's fall into a lighter question of how something you bring organically from your own understanding to help you get through your day. So let's talk about, does music play a role in your mental state? Like,
mm-hmm,
what's your playlist? And do you have different ones for the type of mood that you're in? Like for me, when I'm happy, I'm listening to my DMX, because he get me ready and pumped.
mm-hmm.
I might drop it like it's hot. No, I'm I
Ain't
might
nothing
twerk.
wrong with that.
I'm just saying. What's your music preference, or do you have any music preferences that helps lift you in your mental state for getting you through whatever the situation may be. Let's go with Sophia.
So I do. I still use an iPod. Don't judge me. I don't like mixing my music on my phone, and I
Okay,
won't do it. And I
judgment
have
here.
I have all I have different playlists for different moods, different workouts. I got So-So's workout playlist. I got So-So slow jams. I got my old school jams if I want to take it back in the day. I also have my neo soul. I feel like neo soul, like let's say if I'm feeling agitated or I've been through a conflict or something, I pop on my neo soul, especially the Roots Come and Break Me Off. They play for seven, and then it gets into the instrumental part, and that part I love the most of the song. It just ends up calming me down, and then I've been in situations where I'm like, you know what, I'm going through something with this individual at the gym, but I feel like this is not my energy because I don't got an issue with them. I'm going to say my affirmations. I'm going to play my neo soul and I'm going to let this go as I drive to this gym. So I use that alone time in my car to release. Like you got to release. We can't pin things up. You know what I mean? And I feel like music is a great way to express, release, and just depending on your mood. If I need to get myself hype and I'm tired in the morning, you damn right I'm gonna put on my trap music and
Yeah, work it out. That's right.
I be saying
Stress
all
it
the
out.
words in the mirror, feeling myself. It's just me, and I
Yeah.
go to dance for that reason too, to feel the music and be with myself. And just, I'm not focused on what the other people are. I'm listening to the music and just enjoying me. So, I
Yeah.
love music. I feel like it's an outlet. Yes. Like,
Yeah, definitely. I think, like you said, it's just how you're feeling and what you
mhm.
need for the moment. I like that. What about you, Chef? What's your how does music play a role in your mental status?
Well, I have to say it plays a major role because I feel like with me personally, I just I get I'm just a very energy absorbing person, so I absorb a lot of energy, and feel like music really helps me like shed it off. So I have a very neglected like taste in music. So like if it's if I'm going through like a really hard time where I'm like in a like dark place, I'm just like not I won't say dark place. I would say like if I'm just like dwelling on like negativity, what
Mhm.
I play in my head is like y'all know the Goofy movie, the soundtrack.
Yes.
The
Like really goofy?
Campbell was he played as the pop singer on there. I
Mhm.
played that song. It's like if you listen to each other, and I'd be like getting the dance, and I'm like, all right, we gonna pump this out. So I would listen to Disney. I would listen to like my favorite, like I have this playlist called the 10 songs when I was 10, and it just take me back into like a trance of like where the world was just carefree. I was just in the
Mhm.
back of the car of my mama's station wagon, and we was
Mhm.
headed to like my grandma's house, and I'm listening to all these jams, and I'm just listening it out, and that's what really calms me down. Or if I'm really stressed, if I got a lot of like paperwork to do or going through a lot of emails, I will put on some jazz or I'll put on some Sade.
Mhm.
Sade to
I'll
me,
shut
or
down and
Maxwell.
work it out. Yeah.
Maxwell Urban Hang Suite,
Yeah.
man,
Oh,
I
yeah.
put that album on, and it just soothes me down. Or if I'm like going to an event, like every time I'm like going to an event, I have to listen to Outkast, Bombs Over Baghdad, because the beat just come in hard. Everybody on the 17 be seeing me in my truck. I just be hitting corners, blasting music because it's getting me that energy that I need because
Mhm.
I just have to get ready. I'm like, all right, we're going to an event. We got 150 people. We gotta feed and we
Mhm.
gotta get the energy going. So definitely
Yeah.
I have a lot of music. I love music. Music is probably
Mhm.
one of the most
Yeah.
important things in my life. And I love the fact that they say like what a lot of Alzheimer's patients, when they hear music from their generation, it just like wakes them up because
Mhm.
it's a part of us. Like music is
Yep.
frequencies
Inbred.
that move us, and it's connected to so many memories. Like
Mhm.
when Juvenile dropped that song, everybody know exactly where it was at, or when
Mhm.
they heard a certain song and they just know exactly, or like a song
Yeah.
that you played at like a prom, and it just take you back into that trance. But I
I'm a
love
soldier. Ain't that the one?
that one, and like What song will I be like listening to, and I'll be like, I know. Um,
Chase.
Mia, I'm so into you.
Oh, I like that one.
Every
Mhm.
time that song comes on, I know exactly where I was, and it just put me in a good state. So if I'm in a state where I'm overwhelmed or drained, or even if I'm just happy and I want to keep that energy going, I
Mhm.
would put on some music. I love music. I love I'll listen to country. I'll listen
I
to
am.
electric. I'll put on vapor waves. I'll put on Disney.
Yes,
Don't
yes.
put me in the car because I'm gonna know all the songs.
All of them. Look, don't look. You definitely need to be in one of those cash cab for music. You
Oh,
know.
they'll go bankrupt. They'll be like, you can't play no more. You done took all my money. But
That's all
yeah,
right. That's
music
all
is
right. It's good to know that music generates your emotional state to where it's going to bring you up. It's the instant therapeutic
mm,
um, uh, method that you need at that time. So, you know, if you can't get to your therapist to help with understanding what's going on with you, you pop in whatever music genre you need to make sure that
Mhm.
you're getting through until you make it to, what you say, down to 17th. To where you're going. That's good, good. So let me ask you guys, of all of the methods that you use to get your mental and spiritual up for the day, what is absolutely positively necessary for you to get in the right headspace for the day? How do you balance that work, home, life priorities, to get you through, whether or not it's mandatory like work
Mhm.
or something like that, or it's family. If you need to step away from family for a moment, what do you do to get you in the headspace to tackle it?
I have to say for me,
Um,
I have to say that I vocalize. I ask for help a lot. I
yeah,
used to think asking for help was a bad thing, that it made me look weak.
yeah,
But it's actually the opposite. So I always ask for help. And also, I really do need alone time. Like, I do need to be by myself. I
Mhm.
do have personal time to myself because I do deal with a lot of different personalities and I work with a lot of people. And like I said, like I can absorb people's energy. So I really need time for myself to check in, or just myself, just for me to go through, maybe to scroll on Instagram a little bit, or maybe just to, like, journal for a little bit. And then I can feel like, okay, now I can get through the day. And
Mhm.
also, if I can't make it, I know sometimes in my mind, I feel like, oh, I'm a bad person. I'm like, no. If you go
Mhm.
there, you're gonna have attitude, you're gonna be agitated, you're gonna be short with people. So
Yep.
you need time for yourself. And that's not being selfish.
Nope.
But say that you need an hour, or shoot, maybe you need like a 2 day, maybe you need a weekend. There's nothing selfish about that. So I feel alone time and asking for help is my main thing, how I get in the right headspace. Because like I said, I think I got an S on my chest, and I showed up.
nice. It's there. It's there. What about you, so?
I would say for me, it's just more so just like what Monique said, it's just like kind of checking in with yourself. I don't think it's nothing wrong with you talking to yourself, as long as you're not answering yourself and things, But as far as like sometimes, like I like to tell my clients, when in therapy, you know, when you're reading a paragraph inside your head, you cannot catch the mistakes. But when you start reading a paragraph out loud, you catch all the mistakes and you can make the changes. So that's how I look at it. What you kind of, if you're battling with thoughts and things, negativity, I feel like the best way to battle is outside your head. So it's like, and putting out positive affirmations to challenge those thoughts. So it's just, if you're in a feeling like kind of guilty about something, you feel like this is not your energy. I feel like we all transfer energies. And I also make sure that I release those energies every day if I can, because even with us being on this Zoom, we're still kind of, there's an energy transaction, and I make sure I send all the energies that don't belong to me back to the rightful people, place, and the things and entities. And that's why I say to myself, just to release and kind of restore, and just,
Yeah.
checking my mental, doing my mantras. And like Monique said too, I also journal. but I journal. My journal has hardly anything negative in there. It's all positive. Because I could be like, I hate today. I spilled my salad. No, it's like no. Today was great. Like it was a lesson learned. Like I take every day like looking at the bigger picture. That's
Yeah.
what gets me through because I'm like there was a lesson in it, you know. And if we miss the lesson, God gonna make you repeat that lesson over and over and over again. So
Right.
it's just more so looking at the bigger picture, like I see what you did, God. Okay, I see what you're doing. You know what? Let me get in
Yeah.
line real quick.
Yeah.
Right.
Figure it out, work it out, figure it out to get back in line to understanding what you have to do for you right there.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Chef said a little bit earlier, we all let's just put it out there, us as melanated African American queens, we have that queen mother syndrome where
Mm-hmm.
I can do it all. It's just on me. Everything is on me to get it done correctly, to make sure that it's done the way I need it done. But if you just step back and make sure that um, you reflect on the situation and is it needed for me to do it? Or can anybody do it and the job still get done? So you have to make sure to try and get your mindset at the understanding of, you can't do it all. Might as well go ahead and ask for help. It's not a sign of weakness.
Right.
It is a sign of strength, actually, because you're preserving your strength. And that goes right back to our main topic. That's how you prioritize your overall wellness. That's how you start and understand that this is what I have to do to save me, in the long run. So
I do
that's
want to say one last thing too.
go ahead.
I agree with Monique as well. Sometimes we need that alone time to recharge ourselves because it's like, how can you give if your cup is half empty? Let
Mhm.
everyone get the spillover of like your energy and
Right.
whatever. So it's just sometimes if you got to be selfish and people don't understand and they get upset over it, they never meant to be in your life. I mean, they just taking. So
Hmm.
your real friends are the ones who really understand if you got to take a step back and recharge yourself.
Yeah.
Then people who use you, they, that's a whole nother thing. Then you can kind
Mhm.
of see, oh, I can't take time for myself and I got to always be there for you, but I can't take time for me.
Yeah. You
Reevaluate that relationship.
reevaluate it, because that's exactly where you're at in your own growth. In your
Mm-hmm.
own growth, you have to be able to see what's good for you and what's not, and you got to
Mm-hmm.
be very, very mindful and understanding of how you're going to let that go one way or the other to make you better as an individual.
Mm-hmm.
So Jacqueline in the chat says she's starting to value being alone more.
I,
you know,
I agree. I will
how,
say being alone doesn't mean you're actually alone. If you really enjoy your company and love yourself, oh my God, I love being alone and going shopping and someone not hounding me. And I can squeeze my fruits and things like that. And you not
yeah,
rushing me, asking me, let me be alone. I love being
absolutely.
alone.
It's okay, and don't worry about me being alone. Don't think that I'm in here sulking or I'm being
Yep,
somber or melancholy. No, I'm re-energizing me in the way I
exactly.
need to do it. So let me be for a little bit. I'll let
Mhm.
you know when I'm back at it and being superwoman in my own right.
Right.
Definitely, definitely. All right, so
Mhm.
we're almost wrapping it up, you guys. Got a couple more questions. Just one big one is in putting all of what we discussed earlier. At the end of the day, knowing that you have to do it all again tomorrow, what would you tweak or change about your process to make tomorrow a better day than the last? What do you feel can be done better? Or what have you done to make it a better, more positive experience?
For me, I just like I kind of mentioned this previously. I can't even say what I've done better. I just look at the bigger picture and just learn from my mistakes. How do you learn if you don't make mistakes? We're not perfect. So I just look at my mistakes as a learning lesson and like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna try not to do that again, or oh, I could have done that better. So I don't look at it as a bad thing because I feel like if we start that whole negative cycle of like, oh, I could have done better and things, it's like I'm just turning this negative into a positive, like, oh, like what a great lesson, and I'm gonna try not to repeat this lesson again, or I'm gonna get through this lesson even quicker. And it's just reminding myself what's the bigger picture of what God's trying to show me. So I just always keep God in mind, like what God has planned for me. And the
Mm-hmm.
bigger picture. That's the best way I
The
can
big,
put it.
look, that's a big picture. You're gonna need a whole wall to get that mural out there. Yeah.
Hmm.
Go ahead, girl. What about you, Chef?
So I believe so I was watching like a YouTube or it's like a short clip of I forgot the artist that said it, but she was talking about how she gives herself um, every day she give herself a thousand reasons to like restart or just to make mistakes. And that really resonated with me, and that's something that I have taken and understand. Just like Sophia says, like you're going to make mistakes, especially when
Mhm.
you have a business and you're still figuring it out. And
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
also, just being in this world, we're all trying to learn and figure out what works best for us. And
Mm-hmm.
it's just to be comfortable with those mistakes, but also be proud of the mistakes instead of saying
Mhm.
like, dwelling and saying, "Oh my God, I made that mistake," like Sophia said. Like, be like, "All right, I found a way that don't work.
Yep.
Well, that was good." So we
Yep.
know that route ain't for you.
Ain't
So try a
it?
different route.
Yeah.
So it's really like being comfortable with making mistakes because I grew up thinking that I couldn't make mistakes. If I made a mistake, it was going to be a harsh punishment or anything like that. But as I got older, I'm like, no, we need to make mistakes. I need to
Mhm.
fall down and scrape my knee.
That's
I need
right.
to understand that I can't take this way. But you know what? There's 12 other paths to take. So
Yes.
being comfortable with mistakes because mistakes are we're here to make mistakes. We're creatures of learning and
Mhm.
trying to figure out this world.
Yep.
So just like Sophia said, like being comfortable with mistakes. And
Yep.
I have to say I make thousands of mistakes all the time. Sometimes I'm a little bit passionate, more than I should, but I do get through it and it does make me into a better person. So
Hey, that's
Mhm.
all we're asking for
Yep.
is to learn from the situation you find yourself in to make it a more positive experience for the next time you find
Mhm.
yourself in that same environment.
mhm.
The last thing, and I'll wrap up, ladies. After going through the day and knowing that this is how it's going to be, this I can breathe now, or how they say exhale, I can exhale. I made it through. Uh,
Mhm.
what's your tried and true mantra that centers you
Oof.
for ending your day, so that you can prepare your head and mind for what's to come, and any advice that you have to offer others? Let's hear that. Go ahead. So I hear you, girl.
All right. So I got it from this mantra book, but long story short, I used to have like a lot of anxiety at night and just my mind be racing. Even like when the lights go off and things, I'm like, oh my God, what if something try to jump out at me? And then I'm like, hold up, Sophia. Like,
Mhm.
I'm tired of being scared of like thinking certain things are going to pop out, this and the third, and my mind's racing over the dumbest things. I'm like, you 30 something years old. Yeah, ain't nothing happened to you yet, and God has let you be on this earth. You need to just settle down and rest and just wake up and enjoy the next day. So my favorite mantra that I like is called is I say it to myself over and over again. Even now that I don't have those issues, I still say it to myself to go to sleep because it reminds me I'm covered. And it says, my guardian angels watches over me and refreshes my spirit as I sleep. And man, talk about, I mean, it might sound so simple, but it's like, God got me on this earth for this long. Y'all must be watching me. Like, I'm sleep.
Okay.
So it is something that eases my mind or reminds me, like, God done blessed me this long. I am covered. I have a house. I have a beautiful home. Like, I'm I'm going to sleep. I'm going to enjoy
That's
this
right. I'm about to peacefully rest. I
and
like
refresh my
that.
spirit for the next day so I can pour into others and be that light. So I can, it's just, it's an even exchange. So
As simple as that. I
mhm.
like that. I like that a lot. What about you, Chef?
So I do have a mantra that I say, and mine's just a little bit goofy, but this is what I say all the time. And everybody who work with me in kitchens in my business or just been around me know I say this. Always say, Monique, if we go up, girl, we go up. And I said, if we go down swinging. And that
Hey,
means to me that if we go up and have it's a great thing, that's beautiful. But if everything go down, long as you are trying your best, girl, you doing it.
you
You are
doing
ready, you are doing the best you can.
that's
And
it.
I always say that to everybody. Everybody's always like, "Mo, why do you always say that?" I'm like, because if I go up, I go up, and if I go down, I'm going down with a fight. So if anybody is looking at me, or if I have to look at myself, like, "Mo, you had a hard day, but girl, you went down swinging."
Okay.
Like, all right, well, that's good for me. That's what I do.
That's
And
what I'm saying.
one of the things that I do, and I'll just say I just leave it with that I always work with, is that I always work on myself.
Mm,
I used to think that healing was I get there and it was just a stop, and that was the healing was done. Not knowing that I can fall back into
Hmm.
bad habits that are for me, or pick up things that are just not good for me. And now I think that they're for me, but I always work on myself. I'm always looking for reading more health books. Some people don't like it, but for me it works really good because it gives me a refreshment of like, okay, this is what I need. I know I have my boundaries are not short with this, so I have so many self-help books, and that's one of the things that I feel like it just refills me, and also just reminds me that sometimes healing is not permanent, but
mm.
it's also a work in progress.
It is. Oh, you
Yep.
took the words out of my mouth. That is exactly how I was gonna wrap us up.
Oh, sorry. Oh
No,
yeah.
no, hey, that means we're here. The synergy. I'm feeling you. Yes, yes. Sophia, you got any last words you want to add to?
Oh Lord, you took the thought out of my brain. I had something and then it was like, whoop. So maybe
That's
God
all
don't
right.
want me.
That's all right. I was just about to say exactly what Chef Mo
Oh,
said.
yes, yes. I was going to say, with just being a therapist, I like I tell my clients, mental health is never something like you achieve and like, oh, I got it, and I'm over with it. I'm like, it's a constant maintenance thing. I'm
That's
like,
right.
yeah, we have these highs, but make sure you're still, maintenance in those things so you don't try to hit those lows so hard. Yeah, we all
That's
kind of, even me being a therapist, I have these negative thoughts, but I also use the tools. It's up to us to use the tools that we have to try to get us out those dark spots and things. So,
yeah.
um, it's,
It's
it's you just
it's
it's that
there.
constant reminder, you know what I mean? Just like a car need maintenance, your
Yes.
body need maintenance. If you're pounding it constantly, make sure you get those massages and things like that. Your mental needs, maintenance. Your spiritual needs that maintenance and that time alone. Like, I feel like our souls and our body are two different things because sometimes we physically might be seeming like, yeah, I'm handling this situation well, but your soul is like, I can't stand this. And if you don't say something, I will. So
Yeah.
you
That
better
good and evil, it's just there at all times. Yeah,
have
that's the whole
mental and
thing about
all.
what we as an individual have to go through is that we're all constantly just learning how to be.
Hmm.
How to be successful, how to be
Yep.
mindful, how to be healthy, how to be is what our actual goal is for, day to day survival. And in the midst of learning how to be, we adapt so many things affirmations, meditations,
Hmm.
journals, whatever it is that gets us through that time to make us healthy, focused, spiritual in whatever
Hmm.
manner, continue to do what's best for you so that you can figure out just how to be. I want to thank our panel guests, Ms. Sophia Campbell Burrell. I appreciate you for stepping through and giving us your insight. And Miss Monique Burns, Chef Monique Burns, let me get that right. Personal chef to the stars. Y'all better get it right. Celebrity up in here.
That's right.